Uh, Open the Budget Committee meeting on the Clackamas County Extension and 4-H, that's who's here, right? 4-H Service District Proposed 17-18 budget. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
And ask for nominations for the chair of this committee. Is there a nomination?
I nominate Laura Huckabee as the chair of the commission.
Is there a second?
I'll nominate the second.
It's been moved in second. Any further nominations? Been moved and seconded to appoint Laura Huckabee to the chair of this budget committee. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries, and I'll turn over the gavel.
Okay. So asking for a nomination for the secretary of the budget committee.
I'd like to nominate Tim Thacker for secretary of the budget committee, please.
A second to that nomination?
I'll second the nomination.
We need a vote for Tim Thacker for secretary. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Tim, you're up. Sorry, I can't be professional after the last sitting. So, Mr. Bondi, would you please share with us the,
Cookies.
yeah, you can tell what direction you're going.
Cookies.
I just want to say quickly as a side
Cookies?
note that Mike and his support staff do such an amazing job every single year. I've never seen Mike without a smile and a kind word.
Thank you, Laura. And microphones are on, right? Okay. Yes, there's this plate of cookies here. It's the annual.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes, by all means. And I want to recognize Elizabeth Howley, one of our dedicated volunteers. Elizabeth, wave to the crowd, please.
And we're not counting how many cookies you take.
That's right. This is not,
Over
yeah,
there,
this
though.
is just kind of been a fun thing that Elizabeth's contributed, and those are fresh out of the oven, I think. Okay, so in the interest of time, I will make the presentation for,
I just want to say that this de minimis contribution will not in any way influence.
that's right. This has nothing to do with what business we're going to conduct right now.
Speak for yourself, Mr. Krupp.
And you should have in front of each of the commissioners, county commissioners, as well as the public members, a packet. And if you haven't looked at your packet yet, included in there is the budget presentation that we're going to go through right now. And in the interest of time, we'll try to make this as brief as possible. The packet also includes several other items, just for note. Our Extension Annual Community Report, which is for 2016. I think the commissioners have seen that already. I know our public members have. As well as we are celebrating the 100th anniversary of Extension serving the residents of Clackamas County this year, beginning this year. And so I put together a little one-pager that's actually in a couple of publications through the media right now that talks about that 100 years and the cooperation between Clackamas County government and the Oregon State University Extension Service, as well as a little brochure. You may see that out on the street. A number of our volunteers are going throughout the community trying to collect information about the history of Extension. So if you've got your budget presentation in front of you, or follow the slides, we'll go through that. And as I do, I'll say a couple of comments in general. The levy that has been approved in past years for the district has been at the full maximum rate according to the voters' decision in 2008 to create our district in Clackamas County at a nickel a thousand being the maximum rate, $0.05 per thousand assessed value. And in this particular budget, and you'll see it in the budget message that you also, the commissioners also have in their packet, or have seen in the budget documents, that this year it levies at a nickel a thousand, if that's what you choose to do. It will levy about $2.24 million at the 95% collection rate. This is a much smaller district than the one you just heard about, and it's much more simple. And you'll see that in the presentation. We don't have a lot of funds. Quickly, the mission, you see the mission, you know the mission, bringing the university to the community through our extension service, our research-based information, and our volunteer programs. Our total departmental budget, and I need to move there we go, is $7.894 million. And that's our total budget, and that does include in this particular budget about $5.5 million that's been set aside over the last 9 budget cycles since the formation of the district, which was intended to go into a capital kind of construction opportunity into the future. And that was a conscious decision of the district and the county commissioners back when the district was formed. I should also note that we have significant contribution from other partners, state and federal, to support extension. As we know, it's a three-way governmental kind of a funding support for extension. That's how it was conceived 100 years ago. And so this year in this budget, about almost $4 million are being contributed by the state of Oregon to fund not only the faculty in Clackamas County, but all of our specialist support and the administrative support we receive from campus. Our faculty that are assigned here to Clackamas County generate about, this year, about $1.5 million in grants and contracts. That can come from private sector as well as federal and state agencies. And then of note, and doesn't show up in budget documents, but is important from our standpoint, is our volunteers contribute a significant number of hours, and that is valued based on the state rate at $1.6 million. That would be, by the way, equivalent to 23 people if we had to hire them. And we have 24 people on staff. We double our staff by our volunteers, which I think is pretty important, but that's how we serve 100,000 citizens every year. That's how we deliver 500 educational programs that reach 50,000 citizens, and we do that with 1,600 extension volunteers that are certified and supported within this county in the past year, and they've donated 80,000 hours of collective service. I think that's pretty important. Fund balance, we don't manage much of a balance for $470,000 out of that total of almost $8 million, and that's basically carryover and emergency funds, and you can see the rest there. As far as major revenue sources, not much to say there. Again, state funding about half of what it takes to actually run this entire district in the county. About 30% of it support is from our district itself, and then 20% almost from grants and contracts. Most of our monies, as in most government agencies, almost half of it goes to personnel right now, 7% to housing and technology, 23% to program and outreach. Obviously, people are program and outreach too, but if I just look at the program dollars, that's mileage out in the county. We don't operate any county vehicles. Everybody drives their own vehicle and gets reimbursed. Those are supplies services, so the faculty can deliver program to the community. And then a significant chunk, almost a fifth, more than a fifth of our budget is right now retained just in our Extension Education Center funding that we've set aside for hopefully future construction. And then the overview, again, not much to say there. You can read it for yourself, but pretty straightforward. I was asked this year to talk about facilities capital projects, the 420 accounts. We don't operate within your system per se. Everything we do is through the university, but nonetheless, as outstanding partners to Extension, the county has been instrumental in helping us upgrade facilities through our district funding. And in the last 5 years, you can see we had 2 significant accounts in the 420 program, one for a lighting refit or a retrofit and one for annex remodel, which was now hard to believe. That was 5+ years ago already. And then our financial trends, pretty much the same as past years. Property tax kind of growing at the rate it's growing, and we expect that to kind of continue, hopefully. Stable funding from the state, we expect that to continue. No significant changes foreseen there. Continued grant and contract, although I will say it gets more competitive every year as people are looking for those dollars. And you can see our FTE, about 20 to 21. We did add one person, we'll add one person, an education program assistant in the family community health program that's going to be district funded in the coming year. And I should also note that that number of FTEs does not include all the people down at NREC, even though the North Willamette Research Extension Center is not only part of my purview as an administrator. I supervise, direct that group, and they are obviously all OSU employees, and it is in Clackamas County, but for the purpose of this budget, I don't include them as the FTE because the budget here is supporting the Extension Service District. And even though we allocate a chunk of money every year, and this year it's about $150,000 out of our base budget for program support, I don't include their staff in here. If we did, that would be another almost 30 people right now I have down there. So it's 50 people I work with. And then finally, looking ahead, this is actually the same slide as last year. And there's a story to that, as the county commissioners well know, and administrative team. We're still kind of where we were a year ago, quite honestly. Still needing to complete an MOU or an IGA for the new Extension Education Center. We still need to get into phase 2 of design and engineering and construction docs and permitting and all of that. We're still talking about doing fundraising. In fact, that program has already been initiated, and we're making significant strides on that now for private funding support. And we're hoping now to break ground in the spring of 2018. And again, this will be in conjunction, interestingly enough, with celebrating 100 years of extension in Clackamas County. So with that, I would ask for any questions.
Commissioner Bernard.
First thing, you don't look anything like 100 years old.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I appreciate that. I feel like it some days.
So one thing, the plans for the building are, it's still about money. It's about finishing the architectural design plans and then going through the permitting process, which from what I understand with Oregon City, you should have started last year, and you may have. But one thing is that I'm hoping that over the next few weeks, we're going to look at an energy or a sustainability model for the county, and I think I would draw in solar panels on that one building.
Okay, that's a good point. I know we're already obviously working with the county on reallocating about $70,000 of energy credit that was for the
Solar array down at Extension Service?
No, this is for a building that you couldn't put solar on. I'm blanking on it. Anyway, that credit is supposedly being applied to our building, where we will be able to not only look at solar, but other energy conservation and efficiency technologies.
Mm-hmm. And as well as utilizing the rainwater and other things that because it's near a wetlands, I understand, even though it doesn't look that wet. It's the headwaters of some stream, didn't you?
Of Newell Creek.
Yeah, which
It
I
is
had
the
never
actual
heard
headwaters.
until the other day.
Although it doesn't look like a wetland, but I think we can do things to it to mitigate that and create a more functional wetland, which is one of our goals.
Great, thank you.
Hopefully the city will look kindly on that.
Commissioner Savas.
Yeah, just want to say, Mike, good job on the budget. Thank you for your presentation. And for those who were listening earlier, page 5, maybe I my correct verbiage, I call it the brass, but page 5 is really what I was looking for in the earlier budget. But that's, I think, kind of answers a lot of questions for me. So just want to say good job and thank you, and looking forward to the exciting, as I see the reserves here, I know what that's for, or the carryover. So I'm looking forward to seeing that project to fruition. So congratulations.
Thank
We
you.
are on camera too, right?
That's right. Yes. Yeah, we want you to all help us celebrate this coming year.
I picked it out personally.
Yeah, thanks. All right.
See, I can't see your name.
Humberston.
Go for it.
Like that. I'm just going to beat my favorite drum. I know you're working on the design of the building, and I hope that cross-laminated timber will be included in that process.
We've already had conversations with your staff down in the planning department about that. And they're all fully on board, and they're looking forward to this hopefully being the first county cross-laminated timber building. And we'd like to be that one.
Now, you're talking my language. Thank you.
Very good.
I don't know, I've never heard you talk about it. Okay. Oh,
So we do have, I am very aware that we have some folks here for public testimony and want to open the meeting for that public testimony. And I really commend the two young people that are here and would invite them to go first. You need to state your name and address and know that you're on film.
So my name is Devin Thacker, and I've been
And
in
your address?
Oh, my address: 25025 South Zeller Drive, Canby, Oregon 97013. Grace.
My name is Grace Ampanoni, and my address is Grace Ampanoni, and my address is 14815 South Green Tree Drive, Oregon City 97045.
Okay, as I was saying, I've been in 4-H for a long time, ever since I was 5. I got my first goat when I was 5, and that was when everything really started. It's been a really great experience. Every year I get a different outlook on how things are going to go, how I need to prepare, and without the support from our extension, then there's no way that we would have an opportunity to get out there and show our animals or have opportunities to put vegetables or plants or other things in the county fair. And also another great thing that I'm involved in is the 4-H camp the 4-H camp in Salem. And I look over about 10 kids out of the 200 some kids they have every year. And it's just a really great experience, and I would really recommend that we do have the support from you guys in the future and now. I'll pass it off to Grace.
I joined 4-H when I was in first grade, and so it's been 10 years now. And I'm involved with a lot of the stuff that's not animals, such as foods and art and food preservation. And 4-H has made me so much more confident, and I feel so much more comfortable talking in front of people. Like, if it wasn't for 4-H, I probably couldn't be doing this right now, but with 4-H, I can. And I'm also a camp counselor, and it is such an amazing thing. I look forward to it every year. It's such an amazing program.
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I might share with you, I think it's in the commissioners' packets at least, as well as some of the other extraneous material around the table. There's a little a newspaper article about Grace. As she was just recognized here within the last few weeks as an amazing kid in Clackamas County. She was sponsored by OSU Extension, and that write-up was in all of the Pamplin papers. as well as a special insert, and congratulations for the recognition. And Grace's project serving foster kids was done in conjunction with Clackamas County Department of Human Services. So, connection between Extension and the county again. These are two of our top young people, and I'm glad they could come forward today and take time off school to be here with you.
Oh, that was a tough decision,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
I'm sure it was.
Please don't throw me in the briar patch, right?
I am going to just very quickly say that my name is Laura Huckabee. My address is 17299 South North End Road, Oregon City. I'm involved with Extension as both a master gardener and family food educator. And what that's also allowed me to do is work with Adventist Medical Center, a 300-bed facility in Southeast Portland in a very underserved area, in working on the Community Outreach Planning Committee, in opening eyes to what really drives the health and welfare of the community.
So I'd like to add something too. I want to thank the Extension Service for their Master Gardener program, Master Recycler program. They're at most of the farmers markets around the county and are very informative and helpful. It's great to see them, even though they struggle to put the tent up sometime.
Rob?
If I may, thank you. I look to you two as my replacement. I'm glad you're coming on board. The question I have, though, is where do you see, let me rephrase, with the population coming and the pressure on our land that is coming to our region, where do you see the future of 4-H and the Master Gardener program going? Is that unfair? If it is, I apologize.
No, it's fair. I don't think it's going to change very much in the future because there are young kids out there that are still interested in getting out there and growing. I know when I was little, I always appreciated seeing a blue ribbon, and I always told my friends like, "Oh, I got a blue ribbon. Like, you guys need to do this too." But in the future, it could change a little bit, but in the end, I don't think it's going to be a big dramatic outcome, and I don't think it's ever going to go away.
I've actually gotten several of my friends to join 4-H, and they have planted so many things, and they've done so many amazing things also. So I really don't think that it will affect it much, and in the end, it will be a big, beautiful program.
So one thing you might be aware of already is that 4-H is the largest youth serving program in the United States. So it's in every state and literally every county. And if you look at the research behind the kinds of programs serving youth that really have an impact in developing the future leaders of tomorrow, 4-H is the one program that comes out head and shoulders above everyone else based on independent research, not done by the university, land-grant universities. And so I think echoing what you've just heard, this program not only will continue to serve, but may become more and more important as I see it, just because so many of those basic skills of living are not necessarily taught anywhere else. So.
Do we have any more public testimony? If not, we're going to close the public hearing. Committee members, any more questions about the budget? Okay. So if we could have a motion to approve the budget, that would be awesome.
I move that the committee approve the 2017-2018 budget for the Clackamas County Extension and 4-H District as presented and impose the maximum permanent tax rate within district boundaries for the amount of $0.05 or 5 cents per thousand of assessed value.
I second the motion.
Any further discussion? Okay. Could we have a vote? It's been moved and seconded that the budget for the Clackamas Extension and 4-H Service District be approved. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, the motion's approved, and I think in the interest of time, y'all would like to get back on track.
Yeah, thank you.
So, thank you. Done.